Hey guys, Tom Mobile back again, and today I'm going to show you what the OnePlus 9 camera looks like in everyday life. The camera has always been a weak point in the past for OnePlus. They have always been known for their great specs at affordable prices. OnePlus marketed themselves as flagship killer when they first entered the market, but over time they have become the flagship. And this time around, OnePlus partnered with Hasselblad in order to improve on their cameras. On the back of the phone, they got the Hasselblad branding on it. And in this video, I'm just going to show you some of the photos and videos taken on the OnePlus 9, and I'll let you be the judge. Despite the Hasselblad branding, OnePlus actually uses a Sony sensor. They partner with Hasselblad just for the software tweaking and the color calibration, and they do have a 3-year deal together. Maybe within the next few years they may have more hardware integration, but at least at the start of the partnership, they are just focused on the software tweaking. This phone have a 48 megapixel main camera and a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. Here's a video with me playing with the camera function itself, the time-lapse feature, panorama, slow motion, and I'll play around with the slow motion feature here. Seems pretty easy to use. You just press start and that's it. I know on the Galaxy camera you have to time it to trigger certain motion or else it wouldn't capture. I can almost never get it to work correctly on the Galaxy phone, but this one seems pretty straightforward and easy to use. Looks like it's working okay. My only complaint is there's a lot of flashing and stuttering in the background. This is a video of me eating a Korean dish called gamjaetang. And here's what the camera function looks like while I'm recording. It does support 8K video recording up to 30 frames per second for up to 5 minutes. Here's the 2x zoom. There's an orange button on the bottom right hand corner that you can click on if you want to take photos while video recording. Here's the ultra wide angle. And I just snap a picture. Zooming in again. So indoor setting looks okay, and here's me playing around with the photo. 2x zoom, ultra wide, which they claim to reduce distortions on the side and the fishbowl effect. And here's a portrait mode. Ideally you want to have someone in front of you to take this picture and have some kind of cool blurred effect, but since I'm just playing around with the camera, just gonna click through this. Nightscape, I'll skip that since it's not nighttime. Here's the pro mode if you feel like playing around with the settings and having more control. Tilt shift, just gonna click through, play around with that. Here are the results of some of the photos. Not a professional photographer or anything, but just me playing around with the camera, picking it up for the first time, just pointing and shooting, playing around with the settings. At a glance, not spending a lot of time on it. Just wanted to focus on what it would look like for any consumer to just randomly pick up this phone and to start snapping some pictures, see what's going to look like off the bat. I think most average consumers not going to play around with the settings or do any of the fancy stuff. So I wanted to focus on the point and shoot aspect of this camera. And here's me taking a picture outside. It is relatively dark out, just using the regular photo mode. Now trying out Nightscape, pretty quick there. Then there's Pro mode, just gonna give a quick snap. Tilt shift, regular angle, wide angle. This is me fighting the traffic of people walking by. And finally the 2x zoom. And here are what the results look like. If you enjoy seeing videos like these, please take a moment to like and subscribe. This is the first picture that I took. I just brought up my phone, point and shoot, and did not think much of anything. The second photo is in Nightscape mode. I guess the sign is a little bit more clear and the color is more accurate, but I'll let you be the judge to see which one is actually better. Then next we have the Pro mode, which I was being a noob at. I was not adjusting any settings or doing anything with it. I pretty much left it as the default, but pretty sure if you want, you can tweak it to make certain areas brighter or darker if you have the time and patience to do all that. That's certainly an option for you as well, and it is a feature available on this phone. But for me, I just prefer to point and shoot and hope for the best quality photos, so that is what I did. After that, we have the tilt shift mode, and the point of this mode is to make the wide angle picture look like a macro or a close-up photo. This is probably not the most ideal situation for it, but I figured to give it a shot while I was testing out the camera. And then we got the 2x zoom. Looks like it's mostly focusing around the numbers and maybe the people inside a little bit, but the words on top got the blurred effects. Would probably need to find a better place to use this feature, but it's not a bad start just to play around with. Here are a couple more night photos. This is the wide angle view on top of the roof, and here's the regular view. In this video, it's just me walking along the harbor side in the evening. Sun is out, still nice blue sky, and pretty clear outside. Video quality seems pretty decent. This phone technically have a third 2 megapixel monochrome camera, which is almost useless, but this will probably be the first and last time I will mention it. Its main job is to supply additional information using the main camera, and just based on my normal usage, I can barely tell the difference. It would have been nice to see if they have the telephoto camera instead. Kind of a waste of a little circle in the back, but if you want the telephoto camera, then you would need to get the Pro version. It also lacks optical image stabilization, but as you can see here with me walking around, there's not too much shaking or anything like that, so for me personally, the video quality still looks okay. Here's what the panorama looked like. It is super bright outside with the sun shining, so it's causing some light exposure at the bottom, but other than that, the rest of the view looks pretty good. Here's a few more pictures of me playing around with the Pro mode, adjusting the different settings and exposures. But overall, you can get it to look pretty good if you mess around with the settings. Here's a few more pictures of the tilt shift during the morning. You can see that it focuses around the building, creating a blurred effect in the surroundings. Here's the regular view, the ultra wide view, and the 2x zoom. It has a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which is pretty solid, but it is missing some features that we see on Galaxy phones, such as the wide angle front selfie camera, which I do like. Here is the time-lapse feature of me going on a hike. It looks like it was struggling to process a little bit in the beginning because it looked a little blurry, but after that it was fine. But this feature is pretty standard across a lot of other flagship phone, so nothing too crazy here, but seems to work as advertised. Another feature I would like to see is the director's view, similar to the Galaxy S21. It would have been nice to be able to record myself and whatever was in front of me at the same time. I'm sure there's an app somewhere that does it, but it's always nice to have the feature built in with the main camera. But the verdict on this camera is it is a fine camera. It is no longer the Achilles heel for OnePlus. In the past, they've always had terrible camera, but at least now they have a pretty sufficient one. It is enough to get by, but I still like the iPhone and Galaxy camera more. They look better and have more features. It is up to your own personal preference, but overall, I didn't really see too many things I do not like. It would have been nice to have a little bit more features, but overall, it is a good looking camera. One thing I did notice is when you're taking a picture, it is actually like a millisecond or so slower. So if there's like a moving object, you would need to take that into consideration. It's kind of a little funky, but I think it's something they should be able to fix with a software update. Let me know what your thoughts are on the OnePlus 9 camera. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.